It's 2 apiece. West Ham 2, Liverpool 2, and what that means is the initiative is now very much with Manchester City and Arsenal. Taking a look at the table, of course, City in action tomorrow. Arsenal, of course, taking on Spurs as well. We welcome in Frank Leboeuf to the show, but obviously I want to start with... Where are you, Frank? Very tropical behind you.
I have a problem with my background, so I have a painting, and it's a beautiful painting. But
Right.
Yeah, but I had to put it, so I'm sorry about that.
No, don't apologise. There's a lot to ask you about that, Frank. But as we will start with the football that we saw today, why, Stevie? Was there not a feeling that after what happened against Everton, that we'd come out and fight and show that Liverpool spirit? And
well, we saw that at the start of the second half.
yes, but the second half is 45 minutes.
Correct, yeah. Well, the problem was, I think they felt sorry for themselves in the first half.
Would you think so?
I mean, even though they had control of the game, they had most of the possession in the game, but there was no real urgency and no real sharpness and no real fire in the belly. And I think they were feeling sorry for themselves. And as expected, there's no question that Klopp gave them a rocket at half-time. Didn't make any changes, sent the same lot out, basically saying, right, you better go and show me what you can do. And for, 25, maybe 30 minutes of the second half, they were in total control, scored the 2 goals. And as we saw in the highlight, the McAllister header that didn't go in, I think, was the big changing point. Because from there, Liverpool got a bit safe, sat a little deeper. You know, they had been closing the ball down the whole of the second half from the get-go, and were just dominating. They stopped doing that, let West Ham back in the game, and then you saw the goal. It's a great cross and a fantastic header, and bye-bye Premier League.
Frank, just take me through the mentality of the players and that flat performance in the first half. Because from the outside in, you'd be like, right, you know, come on, let's give it our all. But there was none of that in the opening 45 minutes.
No. There wasn't, and sometimes and most of the time, we talk about Liverpool and we give credit to their intensity that they put in the game offensively, but also defensively. When they are always there, try to get the ball back as soon as they lose it. Today, on top of not being there offensively, they were completely slow defensively, and all the 2 goals, you can see them already for the corner. Bowen can be easily alone because they decided to go with the tactic of a zone marking. Nobody reacts. Quensa see McAllister coming in front of him, he doesn't move, and then there is Bowen, and Bowen scores. And the second one as well. You have a mistake from Alisson, and then 1 minute after, Quensa again, forgets Antonio, who goes behind him and doesn't follow him. That's something we didn't see for most of the season. But right now, they lost everything. They lost the intensity. They lost their sharpness. Well, they lost what makes Liverpool the best maybe in Europe. It's being hungry. And they're not hungry anymore.
Well, you know what made it really noticeable, the flat start that Liverpool had in the first half, is that you look at Luis Diaz, and he's running around, right? He's getting the ball deep. He's running at defenders. He's trying to create. He's going outside. He's going inside, trying to get shots on. And then you compare that to the rest of the team, and it's like it's 2 different personalities. There was a part in the first half in which McAllister is passing the ball back and forth. I believe it was with Trent Alexander-Arnold. And he had an opportunity to actually turn and switch the point of attack. And no, they complete about 2 or 3 passes between each other, and it's 5-yard passes. And you see at the bottom of the screen, Jurgen Klopp what are we doing? What's going on? Let's speed it up over there. I don't care about this 5-yard passes here. Let's take this ball into the attacking half. Let's force West Ham to defend. Let's find some dynamic movement. Let's find some energy in the attack, because they can't defend us if we move dynamically, as, say, for example, Luis Diaz had been moving the whole 45 minutes. The rest of the team wasn't there. And it was surprising to see, because you would think that this would be the moment in which you say to yourself, look, we have to be perfect from here on out. Let's put some pressure on those that are above us. We're going to be good. We deserve better than what we must demand better than what we have done over the last couple of weeks. Here we go. It's us. It's Liverpool. It's history. It's the energy. It's the intensity. And it wasn't there. And it's just amazing to see when we have seen the best of Liverpool, right? and then you see this drop-off, the contrast is so clear, it's so dramatic that it's difficult to believe that it's actually happening.
The drop-off has been noticeable since the FA Cup time.
Yeah.
And the more you think about the little tit-for-tat that Klopp had with Salah, you wonder if there's a little bit of finger-pointing been going on.
So then we saw Mo Salah walking through the mix zone. That's where the journalists wait to do their interviews. He said there's going to be fire today if I speak.
Okay.
And we heard reports as well that coming off the pitch, we saw Klopp hug every single one of his players apart from Mo Salah. Go back to what you mean. What do you mean finger pointing?
Well, the season's collapsed rapidly. Mm-hmm. You know, it's one thing to lose games and it's one thing to drop points, but in the manner that it's happened makes you wonder why. And it's not that there's a couple of players. I picked out the front players in particular over this spell, but all around the field, that lack of spark and desire and hunger that Frank was talking about has gone. And there has to be some sort of reason for that a whole unit basically drops off at the same time. And the only thing I can come up with is a little bit of dissension, which is absolutely not something that we've ever spoken about or thought would happen with Klopp as the manager. And this little spat was started by Klopp. And it can only be...
Because he came up and said something.
Absolutely.
Yes?
Absolutely. Mo Salah was getting ready to get on the field, thinking about what he had been told to do and what he was going to do. And then Klopp goes over and just a little whisper in his ear that
triggered something,
that lights the firework. Now, I don't think you need to be a rocket science to figure out that it wasn't something complimentary. Why would you do that?
That goes against everything we think about.
It goes against every single thing that normally would happen to any team, never mind Liverpool. So clearly Klopp has got a problem right now with Mo Salah.
How much is this to do with him leaving? I know you've said to me, look, he said he was leaving, and then the FA Cup, they were brilliant, Carabao Cup, but there's got to be something there, isn't there? It can't just be a coincidence that this season has fallen apart so dramatically, and he's leaving at the end of their campaign.
Well, I think that's the easy conclusion to come to, but the fact is, and it wasn't me that said that last week, I think it was Frank, when he came out and said he was leaving, it almost galvanised them. So, are we really going to switcheroo and completely go the other way?
But
I don't think so.
Is it come a case that they don't have to impress him anymore?
I think there's no question there's a personal thing with the two of them.
Right.
There's no question there's a personal thing. But add to that the fact that the whole team has dropped off would suggest that there's some sort of underlying current, shall we say.
Well, but if it indeed, you're correct, and it is a personal thing between Klopp and Salah, I can't imagine that it's just for what he said to him going on the field. This is things that must have been brewing for a while. That undercurrent that you're talking about, these things are bubbling under the surface, and this was a moment in which it just kind of blew up. And if I'm Mohamed Salah and I'm upset that I'm not playing, right? And now I'm about to come on the field. I mean, what could be so egregious that Jurgen Klopp says to me that I just go crazy? And to the point to where Darwin Núñez is the voice of reason. What? Darwin Núñez is the one saying, no, hey, focus on what we're doing. Let's get on the field. I can't imagine that it would have been something else other than, hey, Salah, Mo, we need you to come out there and make a difference. And maybe that was enough for Salah to just kind of say, yeah, if you want me to make a difference, I should have started the game.
Right.
I mean, he's just dropped a little hand grenade in, hasn't he?
Jan was at the game, and he said you could see in the warm-ups, when the subs are warming up, Salah was not involved, just not happy with anything that was going on. Obviously, not starting would be the trigger of that.
Right.
Oh, we get a good guessing game. What did Klopp say?
Well, here's and the thing is, if this is all over because Mo Salah's not starting, then you have to question what's going on with Mo Salah. Because at the end of the day, the best players know when they're playing well and when they're not. And they know when the whistle goes, regardless of whether they get the man of the match or not, they know whether they've actually been at it or not. And so Mo Salah should know he hasn't been at it. And he should accept the way that every single player accepts when they're not at it and if they're not picked, it's for a good reason. And nobody, when they saw this team sheet, I don't believe, turned around and questioned why Mo Salah was not playing. Because we all know Mo Salah has been invisible for the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Frank, what's your reading of the whole situation?
Well, I'm with the guys. You know, we'll know maybe some time from now what really happened to the dressing room and which made them disconnect from who they are and what they are capable of doing. Maybe something is hidden or has been hidden. Maybe we'll discover why Klopp said before the end of the season he left, and maybe there are some stuff. But still, let's say that Klopp said something bad to Mo Salah. There is, again, a hierarchy. Mo Salah is a worldwide star of football, and many young players are watching him as an example. So, except if Klopp insulted his family, or I don't know what it could be, which I doubt. I think he only said maybe, you know, move a little bit more than usually, or definitely what you've done the last 3 weeks, and 4 weeks, sorry, and I will be happy. And he got angry. You don't do that. You don't do that. I'm sorry. You do something in the dressing room. You maybe come to Klopp and you say, you know what? Shut up. You didn't put me on at the beginning. I'm going to try to save your ass, but that's the only thing I can do, so leave me alone. But don't move, don't do stuff like everybody's going to see it. It doesn't help the club. It doesn't help your image. And even if you're right, you're wrong. So it's sad to see that, because Liverpool also had the image of everybody together, family, club, and Klopp being the father or the big brother of all the players. It's sad to see that.
It's also the continuation of Mo Salah and what he does after the match is over. Is the fact that
he's the first one off the pitch.
Right, first one off the field. All right, so now there's more continuation. But even beyond that, he can diffuse this. Jurgen Klopp, whether he's right or wrong, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. He diffused it. He said, we talked about it, it's done. But then Mo Salah says, nah, no, it's not over, because if I speak today, it's fire. Okay, so now we have to speculate. He could have done a whole lot for himself, for Liverpool, for Jurgen Klopp, and said, yeah, we talked about it, it's done. But now it hasn't been diffused. That hand grenade that we're talking about is about to blow up.
Steve, how weird is it going to be for the next month at Liverpool training?
Well, I think the most important thing is tomorrow. What happens tomorrow? If they both figure it out, and it's something that can be figured out, and it's, I don't know, maybe he was being sarcastic and Salah took it the wrong way. Whatever it is, tomorrow's the day where Klopp picks the phone up and meets him, and they sort it out.
Right.
And if they do that, then it will be done by